Good evening, everybody. We got here a 1v1 Arabia classic map, and let's get right into the players. So we do have Villese in the red playing as the Persians, very strong civilization, great cavalry, and of course faster working town centers, stronger town centers, and with Villese behind, that is a very difficult opponent to play against. And his enemy in the blue, Sitaux, totally taking the Age of Empires world by storm. New player, and he is, as of the recording of this game, ranked #1 in 1v1 random maps, so totally dominating the scene right now, and he is playing as the Indians. So when we look at the classic style of Persians and Indians, the Indians are the natural counter to the Knights. However, both of these players being pros, of course, that does lead to a little bit of a different approach, and so we might not just see knights versus camels. We're probably going to see some feudal age aggression, and just the way the meta is right now, it will already be fairly established by the time we even get to a point of knights and camels. As far as maps go, not too bad of a map for the Persian player of Villese. He does have forward berries, but he's got a nice back gold that he can get walled in fairly easily. A little bit of walling here. He might just wall into his TC here and then protect up with houses and a mill. So not too bad. His enemy, of course, pretty much the same. The maps lately being quite even. If they are open for one, we are seeing a little bit better balance than what we used to see. As the players are pulling in their boars, scouting around the map. Of course, with the fog of war, he's going to want to scout out where the enemy is. He doesn't see this stone, so that would easily give away where the enemy is. But he's going to run around, try to figure it out, as I am going to just fast forward. They're pushing in deer, keeping their pigs close to their town center just in case. And yes, there we go there. Villese has spotted the enemy, and Sitaux deciding not to go forward as of yet. He doesn't have any scouting information outside of the main area of his base. I'm going to slow down just a little bit here as we do see a bit of back and forth vying for position, but they're both going to run away from one another and just scout out the enemy. So we do have a militia already out for the Persian player. Interesting spot for a barracks, but I'm assuming there's going to be a wall into this town center because of that. So might get a free shot. Ooh, doesn't quite finish the swing there. So both scouts still full HP as the scouting is started. And when we look at Sitaux, he is going to be dropping a barracks. He's already on his way up to the next stage. Has a nice little wood line with only 2 palisades needed to wall in these 4 villagers. And he's in a good position to move straight forward in the next stage. 2 militia are forward, deciding to only go with 2 to begin with. I do like that move. There's no real aggression coming out the other side, so don't want to be going too far in one direction or another. And nice quick walls there. That's the thing about Sitaux, such great game sense and having that fast ability at the same time. So he knows the militia are going to go for this gold. He knows he needs to be collecting gold. And ooh, free shot from the town center, as the villagers are going to run forward. And with this small Dark Age rush, villagers can engage with that no problem. But lots of wasted idle time as 2 militia are forward now for Sitaux. And he's going to push back this Dark Age rush just like that. The militia going to continue forward, but by the time he gets to the other side, the walls will be in place. And Sitaux first to the feudal age by quite a bit, but when we look at Villese, he is a bit delayed, as a matter of fact. So the engagement starts. We do have militia, both losing a militia, but the HP advantage is definitely for Sitaux. The scout going down for Villese, and Villese does have a point advantage, but I don't say that he's ahead right now. Villese does have more villagers, but that's just because he was slower up to the next age, deciding to get a bit more of a strong Dark Age economy first. As the walls still barely coming up, and archers going to be coming out for Sitaux. And archers will be able to range wood lines once we get fletching and possibly the crossbow in the next age. But fairly safe wood line there, and a very safe one back here if worse comes to worse. Just going to take a quick look at Villese. Oh, this scout getting a few hits in on it. Villese does know that this is open here. And he is still trying to be disruptive with this militia. Immediately, we see a blacksmith and an archery range being dropped for Villese. Persians, not the strongest archer line, but they do have this little advantage here where their archer line is only wood cost if you get that unique tech. So that is a possibility. We don't see it very often, only once we get really late game where archers are necessary. So not the strongest archers, crossbows, but still in the early time of the game, very doable. Scout goes down to the town center, and the wall off has completed for Villese. He's open here, he's fine with that. But the military advantage is in Sitaux's favor. Going to be just doing a couple hits here, a couple hits there, nothing too extreme. This militia still being disruptive on the berries, getting some shots on, and the villagers just running around trying to get what they can out of the game. And this militia, the whole point of this militia right now is to waste time and make sure that Sitaux is delayed. Blacksmith coming up for Sitaux. We will see fletching coming in right away for his archer. And fletching's already in for Villese, so a little bit of an advantage, but it won't come into play at this point because they obviously have an engaged archer against archer. This militia getting good value with weak HP, just hitting, being annoying, being a nuisance. That's the entire point right now. The walls will be completing for Sitaux over time. He's really taking his time with these wall-offs, choosing to go with lots of house walls and giving himself a nice big base. He's not overextending, he's not doing too much here or there, and these archers will definitely take out this militia once they get in close. One skirmisher will be enough to destroy this militia, 3 HP. Archers for Villese are looping around. Big point advantage for Villese right now. That might be because of his fog of war making a little bit of an advantage. And there's that militia going down. Military advantage is for Sitaux. And Villese a slight villager lead, but not enough to be making a huge impact yet. As these three archers loop around behind, but the wall off will be completed by the time they even make it back here. Unlikely that they'll be able to get any damage done, as three more are going forward. Got a free kill up front. And both players going to play it safe, work on their economies, then start to mass up their archers. So 2 archery ranges now for Villese. Still just the 1 for Sitaux, but he does have the military advantage. He does have the numbers, and Villese is going to choose to run away if possible, but get as much value out of that army as possible, and it isn't that much. He took out 1, he lost 3, but of course, when you're up against that much bigger of an opponent as far as military size, it's just what has to be done. So 5 archers forward for Sitaux, as these 3 archers are completely useless at this point in time for Villese. And with the walls, the archers aren't going to be able to break through easily. But Villese is on the way up to the castle age. He has the economy to be competing. And if he drops more TCs, that will be big. But I think even if he goes for crossbows, that will give him a really big advantage. Obviously, skirmishers are already out, and we might even see just a knight switch for the Persian player. Skirmishers are chasing down these archers, and then this unit will break off the retreat. But 6 archers coming in for Villese, so can they make it in time? No, it doesn't look like it. So this army goes down, and then these 6 archers can't engage against skirmishers and 5 archers, so they will run away, but a little bit safer of a retreat as the points have evened out quite a bit. Both players close with villager counts, but Sitaux, big military lead. Look at this army of archers and skirmishers already out on the field. As a gate is going up, there is a stable already for the Persian player. One thing to note about the Persians, of course, they do have +2 attack versus archers, so the Knights of the Persians, very good, very strong, and crossbow upgrade immediately coming in. We got a little bit extra range, a little bit extra attack, and this is the point in time where he needs to engage. He's going to have the big advantage. 5+2 attack, 5+2 range versus 4+1. So these aren't little advantages, they're big. Sitaux going for his second TC. 2 town centers will give him a villager lead eventually, but temporarily delayed with the crossbows on top of him, and 1 knight coming across. We got 10 crossbows against 12 crossbows, but this knight might be the difference. The knight can tank some of the arrow fire, and another knight and a couple more crossbows, and that might be enough for Villese to have the confidence to engage, but not going for it yet. The knight going straight to the skirmishers right now, just kind of sitting back. The advantage of range and attack now pretty much gone. Both of the players having the same upgrades. The only difference is Sitaux having the +1 defense on his archers already, and a big army coming forward. 13 military versus 21. Villese has to retreat. He cannot be engaging against this army. He is going to try and get the value that he can out of it, but Sitaux doing the stutter step, just completely dominating and deciding to run in is Villese. Those knights, they are strong, but they're getting killed with just 2 volleys. As we do see Villese building his second town center, no third town center as of yet. So Sitaux will have a little bit of a villager advantage to begin with, but it will be caught up quick. And Villese can't be engaging right now. This is dramatically falling into favor for Sitaux, just showing how dominating he has been for the last few months to a year, maybe even 2 years. He has been skyrocketing up. And so Villese given a little bit of space to breathe right now. But the longer he breathes, 1, 2, 3 town centers with Indians, you get the cheaper villagers being made. So that is a big advantage for the Indian player. He can afford to have more town centers than the Persian player. Even with those faster working town centers, the Persians are going to be defeated if they can't gain an advantage, and a third town center is going to be needed, and it's going to be right on the front here. As both players trying to get whatever advantage they can from their military, and the army of Villese is falling apart. 3 military right now for Villese. That's against the 20 of Sitaux. That is going to be enough for Sitaux to have the confidence to move straight in. And we see another archery range coming up. That's going to be 3 archery ranges and a stable for Villese. He's switching over to skirmishers. Skirmishers so good against this army, and a little bit more confidence. If he has skirmishers out, he will be able to engage with much smaller numbers, and with a couple knights in front, they will be good to go. So skirmishers already coming in. This third archery range, we'll be able to build more skirmishers, and we will see a bit of an army advantage get negated, but more crossbows coming forward. Very open for Sitaux. Sitaux's played such an open game, but just had control of the map. As he's creating a monastery in the back, he knows that knights are a possibility, and he knows skirmishers are a possibility, so he's going forward with Siege Workshop, an automatic counter to the skirmishers that will be coming out. As Sitaux dropping this forward Siege Workshop, a mangonel will be enough to scare away most of this army. And then if he has a monk or two forward, that will be able to convert any knights that do decide to run up. So 5+2, and only one defense so far for Villese, but Sitaux already on his second defense. As both of the players very close with villagers, but Sitaux just, in so many aspects of this game right now, he does have the advantage. One knight forward, so these skirmishers cleaned up very quickly. This is a big number of crossbows up ahead. Sure, these skirmishers are strong, but one mangonel shot and this game might just be over. Looking at Sitaux's base, very clean base, and he's switching over to stables. That's exactly what he wants. Okay, go for your own skirmishers. I'm okay with that. They get completely destroyed by the cavalry that I can make. So a defensive Siege Workshop is up for Villese. Will be building a mangonel out of that and trying to get a good shot. If he can take out this mangonel, that will be a big deal. As camels already coming forward, and we've got two stables making camels, as the full map control is in favor of Sitaux. Sitaux in a great position, but don't count Villese out just yet. Villese, such a good player, and he's almost got enough for a castle. We'll see if he goes for a defensive castle. We'll see what he decides to do. As the mangonel, it gets a good shot, but it was uphill, so not ideal, and the mangonels both go down. When you're shooting uphill, that's okay. 1 for 1, that is totally fine, and I think Villese will be happy with that. If he loses that mangonel, he would be in big trouble, as another town center is going up for Sitaux, and Villese trying to scout around, but even the tigers engaging against him. 605 stone for Villese. He will be going for a castle drop very soon. It's just where that castle gets placed is where is the only question now. Where is that castle going to be as his army is retreating? A good castle position can really solidify where he is and let him save up to the next age safely. Gonna go for this spot on the hill, sort of to the side of where the main push is. That will protect the stone, and it'll also protect the gold there. So good spot right now. He's got his army here. He's distracting the army of Sitaux, so this will be a safe castle. That castle's going to go up for sure. Got to be careful when you're walking close to a Siege Workshop, just in case a mangonel pops out at any time. But look at this Sitaux with the powerful Indian economy. On his way up, gets a big shot from that mangonel. Mangonel will go down, but will it get another shot out? No, it doesn't quite get that shot, and Sitaux able to clean it up for now. Just skirmishers out for the Persian player, and he's going to be up against an Imperial Age Indian army. Not a situation you necessarily want to be in as a Persian Castle Age player. Another town center going up on this gold for Villese, so that will be a very safe gold pile. That will be able to be ranged by the castle. Same with this stone pile. So point-wise, they're not that big of a difference. Both have their advantages. Going to repair up this mangonel and make sure it can be reused. Both of these players going to be repairing their mangonels. And look at the map control with these outposts, with these monks walking around. Great play by Sitaux, and of course Villese just wanted to turtle up a little bit. build up his economy as much as possible. He doesn't have the economic lead, but he is also on the way up to the next age, and he has a castle. Sitaux, right now, I do not believe he has a castle. He does not have a castle. And so he won't be able to build trebs, but that is something that Villese will be able to do, and he will be able to get little advantages here and there. As this army having to run real quick back, that is a lot of camels and a forward castle coming forward. We've got crossbows running forward. And a few idols for Villese, but nothing too major, as this castle will definitely go up. And a switch into barracks. We will see some pikemen coming forward. And a couple mangonels behind here. Might get a free shot. But it's so tough right now. It's 5+3 range for these crossbows. They do outrange the mangonels. And the mangonels just fall so quickly to the camels. And once the camels are in, that is it. Villese calls the GG before it's even possible. It's just the strength of the Indian economy. So great. Look at this economy right here. The ability to drop that 4th town center that much quicker with those cheaper villagers and then get up to the next age because of that villager advantage. Fantastic game.